Hey, Katrina here from Scrappy Horses. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am so happy you're here. Today I'm working on a pretty big project. It's a photo frame for the challenge over at Anything Goes in a Card-Free Zone. Our theme this month is flowers, and our theme is always optional. So I will link that challenge below so you can go over there and see what's going on and play along. We'd love to see your projects. Anything goes, anything. As long as it's family friendly and as long as it's not a greeting card. I decided I wanted to make this photo frame. I thought it would be a lovely gift idea for Mother's Day, which happens to be May 12th here in the US. So you still have a little time if you want to try to take on this project. I want to start out in Cricut Design Space. I don't want to do a lot in Cricut Design Space today, but I just want to show you all the pieces and give you a pretty general idea of how this goes together. So first off, let's just take a look at this. We have the pieces that go behind, which are these pieces right here. And then we have this piece right here with this piece right here. So you can see how this is going to sort of come together. I've used the cup cut from myscrapchick.com. Now, the actual cut that I used is retired. However, I went over to their site and I found one that is called Cups Marshmallow Cocoa Pocket, and it looks like this. Now, I will tell you that this part right here is fold line. What I did is I used my slice feature and I sliced that apart. Now I also sliced to get this piece. If you look at this piece, let's just move it to the front. You can see that it is actually the same as this. I just sliced off the handle and sliced out the heart. So that's how I got this piece. So let's just talk about what I cut here, because this is the toughest part, is figuring it all out and laying it out correctly. I started with the base of the frame, and that would be all of these brown pieces. This is cereal board. I cut 4 of these cups, 2 with the handle to the left, 2 with the handle to the right. Also out of cereal box, I cut these 2 pieces. What's going to happen is this piece is going to get glued to this piece, just like that. These 2 pieces will be glued together, and these 2 pieces will be glued together. This digital paper is from Victoria Designs. It's called Shabby Vintage Wood. Beautiful paper. This one, let's move it to the front, will be glued right on top of there, like so. This piece, let's move it to the front, will be glued right on top of this piece. Now this piece will be flipped, okay, because this is going to be the back. So if this is the back, it's going to get flipped over, and then this piece will be glued on top of this piece. This will be layered on top of here, and all of this, we're going to move it to the front, will be glued right on top of here. Then we bring in our photo. Let's move that to the front. It's going to sit right in here. Then this will come in and we'll move it to the front again. It will sit right in like so. Let's grab our photo piece here and scooch it up. There we go. So there's the front of our frame. This will get glued on to the back. Okay, one more thing to talk about. This piece right here is cut out of vinyl. I did it in the very same font and size as I printed it onto this little piece on the mug. Now you might think, well, why are you cutting it in vinyl if you've already printed it on the mug? Wouldn't one or the other be okay? Yes, it certainly would. However, I'm not very good at keeping my lettering straight, and I wanted to use vinyl so it would show up really pretty and give it that extra shiny texture. So I printed it on first, and then that showed me exactly where I wanted to put it on top of the mug. Then everything would stay straight for me. So let's talk about this text. This really pretty cursive text is from Sweetie Anabella, and this chunkier printed text is Learning Curve. I'm going to tell you right up front, this Sweetie Anabella is beautiful. When you cut it out of vinyl and you go to put it on something, man, oh man, is it tough. All right? And you'll see that in the video. So if you have a lot of patience, go for it. If you're kind of one of those people who's not very patient, might want to choose a different font. All right, let's move on over to the craft table. Again, we went through this really quickly. If you have any questions or any comments about this part, please don't hesitate to leave them for me in the box below. Here we are at the craft table, and you can see all the pieces that I've cut on my Cricut. Here's the fronts and backs. And I'm going to be using quite a bit of double score tape and lots of Fabri-Tac. Here is my back side with that pretty paper. And there is the front side of the pretty paper from Victoria Designs. Two pieces of this that I'll be gluing together. And then there are my layering pieces with the front. That's a piece I didn't show you. And that's how the picture will slide in. But that piece behind the picture that you saw, I didn't show you that in Cricut Design Space. It's not mandatory that you have that piece. But if you want it chunkier, you could add that extra piece in. Now here's a piece I didn't tell you about. I have 3 times this cut of 2 by 3.75 inches. This is going to make the hinge or the easel piece on the back of the frame so that it will stand up. And you'll see me attach that later on. All right, so what we're going to do is we're basically going to come in and we're going to start putting score tape on all of these layers because they all have to be glued together. Now, the question comes up sometimes, why do you use double score tape and Fabri-Tac? Well, the score tape grabs very quickly. And on pieces like this right here where I'm layering, I really want to be aware of where that piece is going to go. So I put the double score tape on so that it will grab, but I also want to be able to move it around. And that's where the Fabri-Tac comes into play. I can play with it a little bit, move things, make sure it's exactly squared up, but at the same time, that tape will grab and will stay together then pretty quickly, even before my glue dries. So that's why I use both. All right, now we're going to go ahead and continue to glue all of these layers together. And again, you wouldn't have to have all these layers, but by using all the layers, it really creates a heavy piece, and you would never believe that it's made out of cereal box. I mean, it really turns out quite nicely. It's almost like wood. I'm going to come in and sand the edges a little bit. If there's any part that hangs over or doesn't fit exactly right, you can just sand it down. All right, here are all of those pieces, and now it's time to go ahead and adhere the paper on top now. So again, it's the same format. We're going to use the Fabri-Tac and the double score tape. Now you'll see there that I have front marked on there. That's just to help me so that I know which side really is the front and which side is the back. Because when I laid in the front, I had to be sure that the tape and the glue didn't go right next to the opening, because you can see there's a gap to show through. You can see that I'm getting this all together, and that's how my little photo is going to fit inside. It was sort of funny because she's holding a French fry in her hand, which, you know, that doesn't make for a great photo, but it's okay because the flower is going to go over that. And I tried to actually get rid of the French fry with in my photo program, and I got rid of most of it, but there was still, you could just slightly see it. All right, we're going to go ahead now, and we've got the photo glued in, and now it's all getting glued together, the final steps here. So basically, I've sped this video up. This is like 8 times as quick as it really was, and I've cut a lot of it out just because how exciting is it to watch somebody tape and glue? I mean, and basically that's what this was all about. All right, something different. I'm going to come in and put a little brown ink, and then I'm going to go over with my Pip pen and go around the edges. And again, it just gives it a very wood look. Now I'm going to come in and I'm going to put that front on to the actual cup. And wow, we're really making some progress now. All right, here we go. Here's that font I told you about. Okay, I'm weeding it out. And this is vinyl that's pre-stick, so this is pretty simple. The chunkier print letters are going on quite easily. Not a big deal at all. Not hard. Basically just, I take them off with my piercing tool and just lay it right on. Now we get to this, and this is a little unwieldy. It just kind of wants to go everywhere. The word mug wasn't quite as bad. When I got to hug, that was a tough one, let me tell you. That one took me a long time. I tried something a little different. I tried laying it out across that piercing tool and using the other piercing tool to sort of get it in place. It just took a long time. Like I said, keep in mind, we're going 8 times as fast as what I actually did in real life. So it was a lot of time on this. It took me a long time. And that little part of the G there, it was just, oh, it just wanted to go all over the place. So anyway, I got it done. So there it is. And I like the way it looks, so it was worth it. All right, here's the little easel part, and you can see that I put a pretty deep score in there. I put some tape on it and started to put the glue on and realized, you know what, I want this darker. So I came in with the Pip pen and I colored the entire thing so it was nice and dark. Now I'm going to come in, I put down a piece of clean paper there to lay my photo on because I didn't want any kind of ink on there, and I just adhered that and it worked out perfectly. It stood up. I was so excited. All right, we're going to do a little embellishing now. We're bringing in the twine. I'm going to just set that in the corner there. I'm going to tie it off with a little more twine, and then we're going to stick the flower over the top of that with just a little bit of Fabri-Tac. So I'm just going to tie off the loop, and then it'll be ready to just glue directly onto the photograph there where the French fry was, and now we don't see that at all. All right, I'm going to jump ahead talking a little bit while I go ahead, and you'll watch me glue in the flower, but I'm going to go ahead and jump ahead. The next thing that I'm going to do is add a few little gems from close to my heart, and they're just little gold gems, a heart and some circles. All right, thank you so much for joining me today and sticking with me on this video. Any comments or questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Just leave them in the box below, and I will get back to you on that. Again, I'll leave the link for the challenge in the box below, and we'd love it if you'd come and join us. Have a great week, and I'll catch up with you in the next video. Bye.